The streets of Seoul glittered under neon lights and paper lanterns. Children in costumes darted across the neighborhood, their laughter echoing like bells. Pumpkins with jagged smiles glowed at every doorstep, and the smell of roasted chestnuts floated through the air. But in the middle of all that joy was one boy who didn't laugh. Minjun Han stood near the tall iron gate of his mansion, dressed as a tiny vampire, his cape too long for his small frame. His father, Ji-hoon Han, the infamous Mafia billionaire, stood behind him, an intimidating shadow in an expensive coat, tattoos sneaking out from his sleeves. His presence made people glance once and quickly look away. Nobody wanted to anger the Mafia boss. But Minjun wasn't feared like his father. He was simply ignored. The other children avoided him, whispering behind their masks. "He can't even talk to us. Don't play with him, he's weird." Minjun's bright little eyes dimmed. He waved, but no one waved back. He carried a pumpkin bucket full of candy, but he didn't offer it anymore. Why bother? Nobody wanted to play with the deaf boy. Ji-hoon saw everything. His jaw tightened, his fists curled in his coat pockets. He would kill for his son, move heaven and earth for him, yet here he was powerless. Money could buy Minjun costumes, toys and mansions, but not friends, not laughter, and that broke him. Just when Ji-hoon was about to pull his son away from the cruel stares, a voice rang out, bright, cheerful, and completely out of place. "Who wants candy? Sweetest in the whole neighborhood. Buy 2. Get 1 free. If you can make me laugh." Everyone turned. By the corner stood a black woman in a bright scarf, a basket of candy hooked on her arm. She had the kind of presence that made you stop, the kind of energy that drew kids like bees to honey. She was Amanda in Jerry. Amanda hummed a tune as she handed out candy, her voice carrying rhythm, her foot tapping to an invisible beat. Music was her second skin, and even selling sweets on the street, she turned it into a performance. Ji-hoon didn't care at first, just another foreigner hustling in Korea. But Minjun's eyes had locked on her. Amanda caught his gaze. She tilted her head, studying the lonely little vampire boy with the stiff billionaire father behind him. She noticed the way he tried to smile at kids but was met with cold shoulders. She saw the heavy sadness clinging to his small frame. Her candy-selling grin softened. When Minjun shyly looked away, Amanda did something nobody expected. She signed a joke with her hands. Why did the vampire go to school? Because he wanted to improve his bite. Her fingers moved swiftly, her expressions exaggerated, playful. For a second, Minjun froze. Did she just? Then it happened. He laughed. Not a small smile, not a polite giggle. A full, loud, belly-shaking laugh that made his little vampire cape bounce. His eyes shone like firecrackers, his cheeks glowed pink. The boy who hadn't smiled in months was laughing in the middle of the street. Everyone stopped. Ji-hoon's eyes widened in shock. His son was laughing? With a stranger? The neighbors turned their heads. They didn't understand sign language, so all they saw were Amanda's hands moving in silly patterns and Minjun bursting into giggles. To them, it looked like magic. Amanda grinned wide, pretending to wipe sweat off her forehead. She signed again. Wow, tough audience. I almost died trying to make you laugh. Minjun laughed harder, clutching his stomach. Ji-hoon's cold mask cracked for the first time that night. His lips parted, his heart pounding. He had tried everything. Doctors, teachers, therapists. And here was a candy-selling stranger making his son feel alive. Amanda knelt so she was eye level with Minjun. She signed quickly, her face animated. I like your cape, but you should be careful. If you fly too high, someone might think you're Batman and make you do homework. The boy nearly toppled over from laughing. Ji-hoon finally stepped forward, his deep voice slicing through the crowd. How do you know sign language? Amanda looked up, unfazed by his intimidating presence. She smirked, switching easily from signs to words. Oh, my ex-boyfriend taught me. He was deaf. Ji-hoon frowned. And? Amanda shrugged dramatically. And he dumped me. Rude, right? But at least I got free lessons out of it. Minjun giggled again at her expression. Amanda winked at him. Ji-hoon stared at her, torn between annoyance and gratitude. This woman was bold. No one ever joked in his presence, not unless they wanted to disappear. But here she was, roasting her own heartbreak in front of the Mafia boss, and somehow, making his son happy. You? Ji-hoon said slowly, his tone unreadable. What's your name? Amanda tossed a lollipop into her mouth like a microphone and grinned. Amanda. Amanda in Jerry. Candy Queen. Joke dealer. Full-time survivor. Ji-hoon's eyes flickered from her to his son, who was still laughing, still clinging to Amanda's every sign. Something heavy twisted in his chest. Min-jun, still smiling, tugged on Amanda's sleeve and signed, "Don't go." Amanda's smile softened. She signed back playfully, "Oh no, little vampire, if I stay, your dad might kidnap me." Ji-hoon's eyes darkened. For the first time that night, Amanda realized her joke might not have been so funny. Because the way Ji-hoon Han looked at her, it wasn't just interest, it was possession. Amanda shifted her basket of candy to her other arm, pretending to be unfazed, but she could still feel the weight of Ji-hoon's stare pressing against her. That man's eyes weren't normal. Dark, heavy, and far too intense, like they were pulling secrets out of her without permission. She focused instead on the boy, sweet Min-jun, who had gone from gloomy silence to clutching his sides in laughter. He was still looking at her, his hands moving quickly. "One more joke," he signed eagerly. Amanda chuckled. "You're insatiable little vampire. But all right." She leaned closer, her fingers flying as she signed. "What's a vampire's favorite fruit?" "A blood orange." Min-jun squealed with laughter, his tiny hands clapping. Amanda joined him, her laughter ringing through the chilly night air. For a moment, it felt like just the two of them existed. Ji-hoon finally spoke, his voice low and steady. "I've never seen him like this." Amanda looked up, still smiling. "That's because you've been trying too hard." Ji-hoon's brow lifted slightly. "Trying too hard?" "Yeah." She popped a candy into her mouth like she owned the night. "You give him everything money can buy. Costumes, candy buckets, I bet even a pony if he asked. But kids don't care about money. They care about connection." Min-jun, catching only pieces of their exchange, tugged at Amanda's sleeve and signed something. Amanda translated out loud while grinning at him. "He says, he wants to know if you're always this scary." Ji-hoon blinked. "What?" Amanda laughed so hard she almost dropped her basket. She signed back to Min-jun with exaggerated movements. "Yes, your dad's face is permanently stuck like that. It's a medical condition." The boy roared with laughter again, falling sideways against Amanda's shoulder. Ji-hoon's lips twitched, as if he was fighting a smile. This woman was dangerous in a way he hadn't prepared for. Not with guns or knives, but with lightness, with warmth. Amanda brushed Min-jun's hair back gently. "You know," she said softly, "he's not scary when he's looking at you. He's just tired." That struck Ji-hoon harder than he expected. No one ever looked past his power, his money, his reputation. Yet here was this candy seller, reducing him to something so human. Tired. He cleared his throat, pushing the thought aside. "You're good with him. Too good." Amanda smirked. "Well, thank you, Tattoo Daddy. I'll put that on my resume." Ji-hoon's eyes narrowed at the nickname, but Min-jun caught it, his hands copying the movement clumsily. "Tattoo Daddy," he signed, then dissolved into giggles. Amanda slapped her forehead dramatically. "Oh no, what have I done?" The nickname is spreading. For the first time in years, Ji-hoon let out a sound that almost resembled a laugh. It was small, rough, and quickly hidden, but Amanda caught it. She tilted her head at him, smirking. "Careful. If you laugh, people might think you're human." Ji-hoon ignored her jab, but his gaze dropped to Min-jun, who was practically glued to Amanda now. The boy refused to let go of her sleeve, signing something over and over. Amanda's smile softened as she translated. "He says he doesn't want me to leave." The air grew heavy. Ji-hoon's eyes locked onto hers. "Then don't." Amanda blinked, caught off guard. "Don't, what?" "Don't leave. Come with us." She stared at him, then burst out laughing. "What?" "Sir, I sell candy on a street corner. You're a tattoo-covered mafia boss with a scary mansion. This isn't exactly a match made in heaven." Ji-hoon's expression didn't change. My son needs you. Amanda held up her hands. Nope. I don't do bodyguard gigs, I don't do nanny gigs, and I definitely don't do live-in with the Mafia gigs. Thanks, but no thanks. Minjun tugged harder at her sleeve, signing rapidly, his eyes wide and pleading. Amanda sighed, ruffling his hair. Oh, little vampire. Don't give me that face. You'll make me agree to anything. Jihoon straightened, towering over both of them. You will come with us. Amanda raised an eyebrow, her voice dripping with sass. That sounds an awful lot like kidnapping. Jihoon leaned closer, his gaze sharp, his tattoos peeking from under his sleeve. Call it what you want, but I won't let my son lose the only person who's ever made him feel normal. Amanda swallowed, masking her racing heartbeat with a crooked grin. Well then, Tattoo Daddy, I guess I'd better start charging extra for jokes. Minjun clapped his hands, delighted, though he didn't catch the tension between them. Amanda forced another laugh, but inside one thing was clear. She had just stepped into something much bigger than Halloween night. The street was thinning out now. Children had already collected their sweets and run off. Parents pulled them home to escape the creeping cold. Lanterns flickered, pumpkins grinned with hollow smiles, and the sound of laughter faded into silence. Amanda was still standing with her basket of candy, Minjun practically attached to her side. He held her hand as if she were his anchor to the world. Jihoon adjusted his coat, his tattoos peeking at his neck when the wind brushed the collar. His presence made the air feel heavier, like even the night was bowing to him. Amanda tilted her head at him, her voice playful but her nerves dancing beneath the surface. So what now, Tattoo Daddy? You gonna buy all my candy so I magically follow you home? Jihoon didn't blink. If that's what it takes. Amanda barked a laugh. Wow, rich people really think money solves everything. Newsflash, some of us don't run on dollar bills. We run on freedom. Jihoon stepped closer, shadows clinging to him like armor. Freedom means nothing to my son if he has to live it alone. The words hit Amanda harder than she expected. She looked at Minjun. Those wide, desperate eyes, the little hands still clinging to hers like she might disappear if he let go. Her voice softened. Kiddo, I can't just move in with strangers. I don't even know your dad. He could be a serial killer for all I know. Minjun signed quickly, his fingers messy but clear. Amanda laughed, translating for Jihoon. He says, you already look scary enough to be one. Jihoon shot his son a sharp look, but Amanda burst out laughing. Oh, don't glare at him, Tattoo Daddy. He's just telling the truth. Minjun laughed with her, their little bond glowing like fire in the cold night. Jihoon finally exhaled, the tension between them thickening. Amanda, she blinked. Oh, so you do know my name. Thought I was just Candy Woman in your scary head. Jihoon ignored the jab. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you're coming with us. Amanda froze, her smile faltering. Excuse me? Minjun tugged at her again, repeating the same plea with his hands. Please don't leave me. Amanda's chest ached. She crouched to the boy's level, brushing his cheek with her thumb. Hey, listen to me. You're amazing. You'll be fine. Okay? You don't need me. Her words cut off when Jihoon's hand suddenly closed around her wrist. Not rough, not gentle. Firm. Amanda's breath caught. Whoa, hold up. Are you seriously manhandling me right now? Jihoon's voice was low, dangerous. If I have to drag you, I will. My son laughed tonight. Do you understand what that means? He hasn't laughed like that in years. Amanda tried to yank her hand back, glaring at him. And you think kidnapping me is the solution? What is this, Mafia Tinder? You swipe left. I say no. And you just drag me into your castle. For the first time, Jihoon's lip curved into something that almost resembled amusement. Castle. Amanda rolled her eyes. Fine. Mansion. Fortress. Whatever haunted place you live in with your scary tattoos and scary silence. Minjun giggled, catching only pieces but enjoying the banter. Amanda looked down at him, her resolve weakening again. That kid, he was too precious. Too lonely. Jihoon leaned closer, his cologne mixing with the sharp scent of smoke from a nearby lantern. His voice was barely a whisper. Stay angry at me. I don't care. But don't punish him for it. Amanda blinked at him, thrown off guard. For a second, just a second, she saw something raw in his eyes. Not the mafia boss. Not the tattoos. Just a father terrified of losing the one thing that mattered. She sighed dramatically, shaking her head. You know what? You're impossible. And terrifying. And way too tall to argue with in public. Jihoon's brow lifted. So you'll come. Amanda groaned, tossing a piece of candy at his chest. Don't get cocky, tattoo daddy. I'm only coming so your son doesn't cry himself to sleep. The minute you start acting too mafia for me, I'm gone. Jihoon caught the candy without flinching, pocketing it like it was some kind of deal sealed. We'll see. Amanda rolled her eyes but crouched down to Minjun again. Looks like you won, little vampire. I'm stuck with you now. Minjun's face lit up like fireworks. He jumped into her arms, hugging her so tight she almost toppled over. Amanda laughed, holding him close. You better not make me regret this, okay? Jihoon watched them silently, something unreadable in his gaze. He'd gotten what he wanted, for now. But Amanda had no idea she was walking into a world of shadows, danger, and temptation. And Jihoon had no idea that the candy seller he was dragging home was about to change his life in ways he'd never prepared for. The ride to Jihoon's mansion was nothing short of a silent war. Amanda sat stiffly in the back seat. Minjun cuddled into her side with a sleepy smile, while Jihoon occupied the opposite end like a silent storm. His black coat draped over him, tattoos peeking when his sleeve shifted. The air smelled faintly of leather, cologne, and danger. Amanda clicked her tongue dramatically. You know, most kidnappers offer their victims snacks. Popcorn? Juice? Playlist? I could have at least vibed to some Beyoncé while being abducted. Jihoon gave her a flat look. This isn't an abduction. Amanda gasped, clutching her chest. Oh, so it's a VIP taxi ride? Excuse me, sir, but your Uber rating is definitely 2 stars. No music, no conversation, and 0 candy. Even the driver's lips twitched, though he quickly looked away when Jihoon's eyes sliced at him through the mirror. Minjun shook with silent laughter against Amanda, signing quickly. She giggled, translating aloud. He says you look like you're constipated. See? Even your son agrees. Jihoon's jaw ticked, but Amanda noticed the way his gaze softened on Minjun for a moment. She smirked, leaning back. You're welcome, tattoo daddy. Free comedy comes with the candy package. By the time they arrived, Amanda expected some cold mansion, but she wasn't prepared for this. The gates opened to reveal a sprawling fortress, bathed in silver moonlight. Black iron bars twisted like vines, security cameras blinked red, and guards in black suits stood rigid along the driveway. The mansion itself loomed like a Gothic painting, its tall windows glowing faintly, shadows stretching across the courtyard. Amanda's jaw dropped. What in Vampire Disneyland is this? You live here? Bro, are you Batman? Or Dracula? Or both? Jihoon stepped out first, unbothered, and the guards immediately bowed. Amanda held Minjun's hand tighter as they followed, whispering under her breath. Blink twice if your dad is secretly running an underground coven, okay? 'Cause I swear I see fangs in those windows. Minjun laughed so hard he nearly tripped on the steps. Inside, the mansion was worse because it was too perfect. Marble floors that could blind you, chandeliers like dripping diamonds, walls lined with expensive art she couldn't even name. Amanda whistled low. Oh wow, so this is where my tax money goes. Jihoon shot her a side glance. You don't even pay taxes here. Amanda grinned. Then this is where your enemy's tax money goes. One of the bodyguards coughed to hide his laugh. Jihoon glared at him, and silence fell like a hammer. Amanda leaned to Minjun, whispering dramatically, Do you see that? Even his guards are scared of his eyebrows. Minjun wheezed, signing so quickly Amanda barely kept up. She laughed louder, drawing every guard's confused gaze. To them, it looked like nonsense hand-flailing. But the boy and the candy woman were glowing with secret jokes. And Jihoon, stoic Jihoon, watched with something that almost looked like longing. They were shown to a massive living room. Black leather couches, glass tables, bookshelves full of untouched classics. It looked like a magazine spread, beautiful but cold. No toys, no warmth. Amanda plopped onto the couch, Minjun curling beside her immediately. She looked around and clapped her hands. So, where's the karaoke machine? Or the PlayStation? Or literally anything fun? Don't tell me this whole castle of doom has nothing but sad furniture. Ji-hoon remained standing, arms folded, shadows clinging to his tattoos. This is not a place for fun. Amanda squinted at him. Well, no wonder your kid was lonely. This whole place screams funeral chic. Minjun signed again, grinning. Amanda translated with a laugh. He says your house is uglier than my candy stand. For the first time, Ji-hoon's lips curved into something faint. Almost a smile. Almost. Amanda pointed dramatically. Aha! I saw it. A smile. The mighty Mafia smirk. Quick! Someone take a picture. Oh wait. Never mind. Your face would break the camera. The guards exchanged wide-eyed looks. No one dared tease Ji-hoon like this. Yet here she was, this candy-selling black woman, poking at him like he wasn't one of the most feared men in Korea. Later, when Minjun finally dozed off with his head in Amanda's lap, the room grew quieter. The only sound was the boy's soft breathing. Amanda stroked his hair gently, her eyes softer than her words. He's a good kid. Lonely, yeah, but golden. Ji-hoon stood at the window, his silhouette dark against the moonlight. I've given him everything. Amanda's tone sharpened. Except what he actually needed. His head turned slightly. And you know what that is? She met his eyes without fear. Connection. Laughter. Someone to listen, not just protect. Money can't hug him when he's crying at night. For a moment, silence stretched between them, heavy and raw. Then Amanda chuckled, ruining the tension. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a candy dealer with bad Wi-Fi. Ji-hoon's gaze lingered on her, unreadable. He wasn't used to anyone speaking to him like that. Unfiltered, honest, sharp. And Amanda wasn't used to looking at a man like him and feeling her chest tighten in ways she didn't want to admit. That night, as she tucked Minjun under silk sheets, Amanda whispered to him, You dragged me into this haunted castle, kid. Now you better make sure your scary dad doesn't eat me alive. Minjun laughed in his sleep, and somewhere across the hall, Ji-hoon listened in silence, a storm brewing in his chest he couldn't name. Amanda woke to the smell of coffee and silence so heavy it pressed on her ears. The mansion was too big, too still, and way too dramatic for her taste. She stretched on the ridiculously soft guest bed, muttering to herself, Lord, this mattress is trying to make me forget I was kidnapped. Nice try, Mafia Hotel. Nice try. When she stepped out, she found Minjun already waiting in the hall, bouncing on his toes. His smile was brighter than the morning sun, his little hands flying in signs before she could even greet him. Amanda laughed, crouching down. Okay, slow down, tiny vampire. One word at a time. He signed again, and she translated, grinning. He says, Can we play today? Her heart softened. Play? In this haunted castle? Baby, the only fun thing in this house is me. Minjun giggled silently, tugging her hand. And just like that, Amanda's morning plan of escaping through the back gate died in his smile. They ended up in a music room she hadn't noticed the night before. Tall shelves of instruments lined the walls. Violins, pianos, guitars, untouched and dusted, like display items instead of tools for joy. Amanda whistled low. What is this? A museum? Don't tell me none of y'all actually play. Minjun shook his head. Amanda's eyes sparkled. Oh no, this will not do. If I'm gonna be trapped here, at least let me turn this place into MTV. She picked up a guitar, strummed a messy chord, and started singing off-key just to make Minjun laugh. Candy seller in a mafia house. Singing loud like a broke Mickey Mouse. Tattoo daddy's scary. Guards don't blink. But I don't care. I just need a drink. Minjun laughed so hard his shoulders shook. He clapped his hands in sign language applause, urging her to keep going. Amanda twirled dramatically, pretending to be a superstar on stage. Thank you. I'll be here all week, against my will. The door creaked open. Ji-hoon leaned against the frame, his tattoos hidden under a black shirt, his eyes fixed on Amanda with that unreadable intensity. Amanda froze mid-spin. Oh great, and here's the record label executive come to cancel my contract. Minjun quickly signed something, his grin wide. Amanda smirked. He says I sing better than you, Daddy. Ouch. Sorry, Tattoo Daddy. Even your own son's a critic. Ji-hoon's gaze softened on Minjun, but when it slid back to Amanda, it hardened again. You're loud. Amanda put a hand on her hip. Correction. I'm entertaining. There's a difference. Ji-hoon stepped in slowly, scanning the room, his presence swallowing the air. This house isn't meant for noise. Amanda's face sobered. Maybe that's the problem. The words hung heavy, sharper than her usual jokes. Ji-hoon's jaw tightened, but he didn't reply. Instead, his eyes lingered on her hand resting protectively on Minjun's shoulder, and for a fleeting moment, something almost vulnerable flickered there. Later that afternoon, Amanda sat in the courtyard with Minjun, teaching him rhythm by tapping on the wooden bench. He copied her eagerly, his little hands slapping in sync. You got it, Amanda grinned. Who knew the next Beyoncé's drummer was hiding in a Mafia mansion? Minjun signed, cheeks flushed. Amanda chuckled. He says, you're funny. Funny and fabulous, she added with a wink. From the balcony above, Ji-hoon watched silently. Amanda's laughter carried through the cold air, weaving warmth into spaces that had been silent for years. His son looked alive. Amanda looked at home. It was dangerous. That night, dinner was awkward. The long dining table stretched between them like a battlefield. Ji-hoon at one end, Amanda at the other, Minjun in the middle. Amanda stabbed her steak, shaking her head. Why's this table so long? Y'all planning a United Nations meeting here or something? Ji-hoon didn't answer. He cut his food in perfect silence. Amanda sighed dramatically. Do you ever talk at dinner? Or is brooding your only seasoning? Minjun laughed, spilling water by accident. Amanda immediately reached to help him, her hands quick and gentle. Ji-hoon's gaze lingered on her again. The way she laughed with his son. The way she didn't flinch at his silence. The way she fit here without even trying. But when their eyes met, Amanda arched a brow. Don't look at me like that. You're still scary. Ji-hoon almost smiled again, but he hid it behind his glass. That night, as Amanda tucked Minjun into bed, he signed slowly. I'm happy. Amanda kissed his forehead, her throat tightening. Good. You deserve to be. Across the hall, Ji-hoon stood at his window, watching the night bleed into silence. For years, his house had been nothing but shadows. Now there was music, laughter, and temptation. He told himself she was only here for Minjun. That's all it could ever be. But deep down, Ji-hoon knew he was lying. The following week passed in a strange blur. Amanda had slipped into a rhythm with Minjun. Morning lessons in music, afternoons filled with silly games in the courtyard, and nights of bedtime stories she made up on the spot. The boy glowed with happiness, his laughter bouncing against walls that had known only silence. But Ji-hoon, he was the storm always hovering. Sometimes Amanda caught him watching her from across the room, his tattoos like secrets written on his skin. Sometimes their eyes met for a beat too long, the air tightening between them. And every time, Amanda would break it with a joke. Because falling for Tattoo Daddy? That was the dumbest idea in the universe. It started on a Thursday evening. Amanda was helping Minjun sketch candy designs in the courtyard when she noticed movement by the gates. A black car that didn't belong. Dark windows. Her gut clenched. Before she could even ask, Ji-hoon appeared beside them, his presence sudden and sharp. His eyes cut to the car, then to the guards. A flurry of hand signals passed between them. Amanda stood, holding Minjun's shoulders protectively. Okay, what's going on? Don't tell me your Amazon delivery's this dramatic. Ji-hoon didn't look at her. His jaw was tight, tattoos flexing as his hands curled into fists. Inside. Now. Amanda blinked. Excuse me? Did you just... He turned then, eyes like knives. Amanda. Inside. Take him. Something in his tone made her obey. She grabbed Minjun's hand, rushing him toward the mansion. But halfway up the steps, she heard the pop-pop-pop of muffled gunfire. Minjun froze, eyes wide, body trembling. Amanda knelt fast, cupping his cheeks, forcing him to look at her. She exaggerated her lips so he could read them. "It's okay. I've got you. It's okay." She pulled him close, heart hammering. Moments later, Ji-hoon stormed inside, his coat dusted with smoke, his tattoos still visible through torn sleeves. His men trailed behind, dragging one unconscious attacker. Amanda shot to her feet, anger boiling. What the hell was that? Ji-hoon brushed past her, checking Minjun first. The boy buried himself in his father's chest, trembling but safe. Amanda's fury flared hotter. You bring me into your Dracula mansion, and now we're dodging bullets? Are you kidding me?" Ji-hoon's eyes lifted to hers, sharp but tired. "This is my life." Amanda threw her hands up. "And you thought it was a good idea to drag a candy seller into your Mafia soap opera? Are you insane?" Minjun tugged Amanda's sleeve, signing quickly, tears streaking his cheeks. She softened immediately, crouching to hold him. Hey, I'm not mad at you, baby. Just your terrifying dad." Ji-hoon exhaled, dragging a hand through his hair. "They weren't here for you." Amanda glared. "Oh, wonderful. I feel so much better. They just came to spray bullets near my new living room. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Would recommend." The guards shifted uncomfortably. No one talked to Ji-hoon like this, but Amanda was on fire, and not even the Mafia boss could put her out. Later that night, after Minjun finally fell asleep in Amanda's arms, she slipped out onto the balcony to breathe. The night was cool, city lights twinkling far in the distance. But her chest was tight, her heart restless. Behind her, she felt it before she heard it. Ji-hoon's presence. Heavy, still, dangerous. "You shouldn't be out here alone," he said quietly. Amanda didn't turn. "What are you gonna do? Assign me a bodyguard when I already have Tattoo Terminator himself hovering 24/7. He didn't answer right away. When he finally spoke, his voice was lower, rougher. "You're angry with me." Amanda spun, fire in her eyes. "Angry? Ji-hoon, I got dragged into your haunted castle, dodged your bullets, and got screamed at like a child. Angry doesn't even cover it." He stepped closer, the moonlight catching the ink on his skin. "And yet you stayed. For him." Her throat tightened. She hated that he was right. "I stayed for Minjun," she said firmly. "Not for you. Don't get it twisted." But Ji-hoon only looked at her, really looked at her, as if peeling back every wall she'd built. His voice dropped. "You care more than you admit." Amanda's pulse jumped. She shoved a finger at his chest. "Don't start with your Mafia mind games. I'm here because your son deserves love, not because of your brooding charm. Got it?" For a beat, they stood there, inches apart, the night air crackling between them. Amanda's eyes flicked, just for a second, to his lips. Then she cursed herself silently. Ji-hoon's gaze dipped to hers, sharp and unreadable. The moment stretched, unbearable, like something electric was about to snap. "Amanda?" They both startled, turning to see Minjun rubbing his eyes in the doorway. Amanda exhaled, rushing to him. "Baby, go back to bed. Everything's fine." The boy reached for her hand. She kissed his forehead, whispering, "I'm right here, always." Ji-hoon watched them, silent. His son's safety, Amanda's fire, his own dangerous desire clawing at his control. When the door closed again, Amanda glanced at him one last time. "We're not falling for each other," she said flatly, though her voice betrayed her. "We're not. End of story." Ji-hoon's lips curved in the faintest smirk. "We'll see." Her heart betrayed her with a skip, but she spun away before he could see it. The attack changed everything. Amanda couldn't shake the image of Minjun's small hands trembling in hers, or the sound of muffled gunfire just meters away. For the first time since stepping foot in the mansion, she realized just how fragile this safety bubble was. And for the first time, she wondered if she was strong enough to stay. The next morning, Amanda busied herself in the kitchen. Not because she liked cooking. God knew she was better at buying takeout than flipping pancakes, but because her nerves needed something to do. She hummed softly, tapping a wooden spoon against the counter in rhythm, trying to drown out the heavy thoughts in her head. Minjun padded in silently, holding his little notebook. He scribbled quickly, then held it up. "Are you leaving?" Amanda froze, her heart clenched. "Baby?" She knelt to hug him, pulling him close. "No, I'm not leaving you. Never." The boy squeezed tighter, as if afraid she'd vanish. And in that moment, Amanda knew, no matter how terrifying Jihoon's world was, she couldn't walk away. Not when Minjun needed her like this. But that only made the next problem worse. Jihoon. That night, the house felt unusually quiet. Too quiet. Amanda found herself wandering the long halls until she reached Jihoon's private study. The heavy door was half open, a faint light spilling out. She hesitated, then pushed inside. Jihoon sat at the desk, jacket off, sleeves rolled, tattoos like shadows crawling over his arms. His head was bowed, his hand clenched around a glass he hadn't even drunk from. For once he looked tired, human. Amanda leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. Brooding in the dark? How original. Jihoon glanced up, his eyes weary but softening when they landed on her. Amanda. She walked in, trying to mask her thundering heartbeat. "Look, I'm not good at this whole Mafia soap opera thing, but last night scared me. And if it scared me, imagine how it felt for Minjun. He deserves better than to grow up with bullets as lullabies." Jihoon's jaw tightened. "That's why I keep him hidden. That's why I keep you here. So he's safe." Amanda's eyes flashed. "Safe? Jihoon, don't you get it? He's safe because of love, not walls. Not guns. Me sitting with him, holding him, making him laugh. That's what kept him from breaking last night. Not your guards." The silence between them was sharp. Then Jihoon stood slowly, every step toward her heavy with something she wasn't ready for. "You're saying I can't protect my son?" Amanda tilted her chin up, even though her pulse was racing. "I'm saying you can't do it alone." They were close now. Too close. She could see the flecks of tired gold in his dark eyes, could feel the heat radiating from him. "And you think you can?" His voice was low, dangerous, but not in the way it used to be. Amanda swallowed hard. "I don't think. I know." Her words hung in the air, vibrating like strings of an untuned guitar. And then, a crash. The window behind Jihoon shattered as a bullet whizzed past, embedding itself in the wall. Jihoon's reflexes were lightning. He grabbed Amanda, pulling her to the floor, shielding her with his body. Glass rained down around them. Amanda's breath hitched, trapped beneath him, her face inches from his. Her heart pounded against his chest, and for a terrifying moment, all she could think of was how safe she felt, despite the chaos. Jihoon's voice was rough, almost a growl. "Are you hurt?" Amanda shook her head quickly. "No. You? Not a scratch." Their eyes locked, the world outside fading. The shattered glass, the chaos, the muffled shouts of guards. It all blurred. All that remained was them. Amanda's throat tightened. Words tumbled out before she could stop them. "I was scared. Not of the bullets. Of losing you. Both of you." Jihoon's breath caught. His tattoos shifted as his hands trembled slightly against her arms. "Amanda, I don't know how it happened," she whispered, tears brimming. "But damn it, I care. I care about Minjun. And I care about you. More than I should." For the first time, Jihoon's mask cracked. He cupped her cheek, his touch trembling like he was afraid she'd vanish. "Do you know how long I've been trying not to hear that? Not to want it?" Amanda blinked, breathless, then stopped trying. And just like that, he kissed her. It wasn't soft. It wasn't gentle. It was years of loneliness, fear, desire, and defiance colliding all at once. His lips devoured hers, fierce and hungry, as if claiming the only thing he'd ever let himself want. Amanda melted into it, fingers clutching his shirt, the world spinning away until nothing remained but the taste of him. The heat, the electricity that had been building for weeks finally igniting. When they finally broke apart, foreheads pressed together, Amanda's laugh was shaky, breathless. "So much for not falling for each other." Jihoon smirked, but his voice was raw, honest. "I already fell. The day you made him laugh again. Amanda's heart twisted. She kissed him once more, softer this time. Then we're doomed, Tattoo Daddy. Because I'm not going anywhere. The danger wasn't over. The shadows of the Mafia world still lurked outside the mansion gates. But for Ji-hoon, for Min-jun, and for Amanda, the candy seller who'd barged into their lives with sass, laughter, and music, something had finally changed. They were no longer three broken pieces. They were a family, and nothing, not even bullets, could take that away.
Hello besties, thank you so much for watching. Should I post episode 2 or we stop it at episode 1? Thank you so much. Kindly like, subscribe and share.